You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet.
Hello. I know what I was going for there.
Is the Shadow's girlfriend.
Yeah. What's her name? Lane?
fucking don't
Margot
know.
Lane?
Margot,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Correct.
Not Lois Lane. It is Margot Lane.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
Because I remember I was like, Margot Lane? Like Lois Lane? This is before. Well, we'll get into that, I'm sure. We'll get into the history of the Shadow, maybe.
Yeah.
So welcome to a very dark episode of TADPOG Podcast, show where 2 to 3 old guys play a very old unreleased game based off an old movie that was a flop.
Did it not do well?
No.
I didn't do any research on the movie itself. I just watched the movie. I thought you were going to do
Free on YouTube. Yay!
Is it really?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Well, I also watched it for free, so I can't really complain. I just didn't watch it for free on YouTube.
I feel like you probably watched it for free.
Yeah, I was surprised by the quality. I was like, fuck yeah, all right. That's good. It's not a VHS rip of The Shadow.
Oh no, that might have been a better way to watch it.
Maybe.
Well, before we dive into 1933 crime, what have you guys been up to this week?
Just a whole lot of nothing, Tyler.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just work and, the usual stuff. I hadn't had anything really exciting to report. I haven't been playing any new video games. I watched a movie called Drop. It's a horror film, sort of more of a, it's not much of a horror film. I wouldn't put it in that category. It's more suspense. It's about a woman whose husband had recently died, and she's getting back out into the dating scene. And she has been waiting to go on a date with this fella she met on a dating app and had been putting it off for several months, nervous to get back in the game, And she finally decides, okay, it's time. We're going to go have dinner. So they go. She meets this fella at the restaurant, this really fancy restaurant on top of a super high building. And as they sit down to eat, someone starts airdropping her pictures and not dick pics. And
Womp womp.
at one point, she gets a message through airdrop that basically says she has to kill her date or her son at home will die. And chaos ensues. The whole rest of the movie is her dealing with that. It's very interesting. I
Is
enjoyed
Adam
it.
Driver the boyfriend?
No, the boyfriend is...
Or not the boyfriend, the date?
The date is played by the fella that was Spencer in 1923, the Yellowstone spinoff. I can't remember his name.
Spinoff.
Dutton Spinsoff.
Spinoff. But no, he was the date. And I liked it. I thought it was a pretty fun movie. It's a good rainy day watch.
Mm-hmm.
Cool premise.
Yeah, I liked it.
Was it a rotating restaurant?
No, it wasn't a rotating restaurant.
It's a bummer.
But
Should have been a Rainforest Cafe.
Mm.
That would have been.
Yeah, I like that.
Listeria
Or
and
it's
all.
actually a Wendy's that's right next to a Rainforest Cafe.
3 stars. Was in Safe Says check it out.
Cool.
Joe Bob Briggs was on this past weekend on Shudder,
Yeah.
and he every year he does Walpurgis Nacht, which is like the other Halloween. It's the Night of the Witches.
Oh, okay.
And
Is that the
he
third
always-
one?
Huh?
Is that the third Halloween movie?
No.
Walpurgis Knock?
Nacht. It's Walpurgis Nacht is like a
Nacht.
thing. It's like a
Oh.
day. He celebrates
Oh, it's like
Walpurgis
the
Nacht
other Halloween,
every-
like meaning the holiday.
yeah, the other holiday
Oh,
Halloween.
I didn't even know about that.
Where
It's in May?
It's in May,
Huh.
and I think it's like right halfway to Halloween.
Okay.
kind of thing or whatever. It's like you're halfway there, but it's like a German thing
Nacht is
where they
night,
would,
right?
yeah.
Walpurgis, I don't
Walpurgis
know.
is witches.
Ah,
So
okay.
witches
Which is night.
But
Hell
there's all
yeah.
this, there's all this. It's an ancient thing, an ancient tradition, and they would all gather together to stop the witches from going into town and killing everybody and stuff. But he always celebrates Walpurgis Nacht, and he just does a regular episode, and he'll show movies. He showed a City of the Dead, which was a movie from 1960 about a woman who gets into she's like a student that gets into studying the witches and all this kind of stuff in this one like remote town in New England, and it wasn't great, but it was also a horror movie from 1960.
Sure.
So I mean, it's kind of like, okay, it's fine,
Yeah.
one of those deals. But that was fun watching Joe Bob, and in the tradition of Joe Bob, since we watched the movie tonight, I do have a TADPOG totals for The
Nice.
Shadow.
Hell yes.
So we'll get to that later. And then just played some Overwatch with Kaiser Arc and with Captain Gun Nerd, and got some more Stadium done. I got my MVP achievement for Stadium, which was to win one match with every character in the release. And that's a hard one to get.
Yeah,
So I got
I
that
bet.
one. And forgot to watch the movie until last night.
The movie
The Shadow.
The Shadow?
And so I got real drunk and watched The Shadow last night, so I can
Hell yeah.
guarantee nothing about my recall of this movie or about the sense that my list is going to make.
I was about to say, I'm real excited for the Tadpog totals now.
It will be
Alec Baldwin, $20.
it will be unedited, and I will read it as such. I haven't looked at it since I wrote it. Probably not even complete. It
Awesome.
probably doesn't even go all the way to the end of the
Awesome.
movie.
I also watched the movie yesterday.
Okay, well, I feel better.
I put it off
Yeah,
because I didn't want to watch it.
mine
I
wasn't
finished it at 6:30.
this today.
Today, like 30
You're
minutes
fresh.
ago.
Yes.
You're
All
fresh
right.
off the
All right.
Shadow train.
I started it at work and then finished it when I got home.
Okay.
I watched it yesterday, and I was the first one of us to watch it. That's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
It was like at 2 in the afternoon. I was like, I guess I better watch this.
I wanted to see it because I don't think I after having watched it yesterday, I don't think I'd seen it before. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
That
I thought I
surprises me.
had seen it, but
Wow.
nothing rang a bell.
Is
unless
this
I
a
just
first? The
tuned it
Tadpog
fuck
first?
out. Yeah, maybe that I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe
you've seen a lot of movies.
Tanya insists that we've watched it, but I
don't know how
honestly
you would
don't
forget
think
some of that.
I have. I really don't. Nothing rang a bell, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Nice.
So anyway,
Cool.
that was it for me. Nothing really special to report. No, we've got a lot to talk about tonight, so I won't go on.
For sure.
What's up with you, Dave? How have you been, buddy?
Busy. I've been busy. Yeah, but I've been playing through Secret of Mana for the SNES. I don't know why I wanted to take. I got burnt out on Final Fantasy 14 because I did it so hard for a week.
Yeah.
Doing that cosmic exploration, and I don't know, man. Fucking the day after we recorded our last episode, it was a Tuesday, and I was like, man, I don't think I want to play this. I just wasn't feeling it. So I just started playing Secret of Mana. I've played a little 14, but here and there, but nothing crazy. Just working on White Mage. Henry and I went to the planetarium on Saturday.
The planetarium.
The planetarium, which I hadn't been there in a long time.
I was
Real
surprised
time.
when I went a few years ago with all the girls, and I was surprised at the quality of it.
It's cool.
It's been a
Yeah.
long time since I've been there myself.
It's
so-
cool. It was a nice Saturday activity
Yeah.
to do.
What's it cost to get into the planetarium now?
We lucked out, and it was astronomy day,
Oh, well, shit.
and it meant
Every
that
day is astronomy day at the planetarium.
everything was free, so all the showings were
Shit,
free.
yeah.
That's
But
nice.
normally, I think it's like $4 a person.
Oh, fuck. That's nothing.
It's not bad.
That's
Yeah.
easy.
Especially if you just go to one show. We just went to one. We would have stayed longer, but we had stuff going on.
I always
that
forget
night.
that we have a planetarium here. I want to see if I can take my grandson out there sometime. I think he'd dig that.
He probably would. Henry loved it, man. He was
petting zoo out there is cool too.
What's that?
The petting zoo.
Oh, I didn't know there was one out there. Golden Pond.
It's around that area because that's what we did, the planetarium and that in one day, where you can
okay.
go see like the gators, the monkeys, the owls, like a whole bunch of shit.
Oh,
out there.
you mean like the wildlife
Yeah.
refuge? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That the wildlife refuge is really cool. We couldn't get out there earlier, but they were gonna do like a red wolf feeding. That I think Henry would have liked. I would have loved to have seen that. I think that would have been really fucking cool, but we couldn't get out there that early. Henry slept in.
It's really just a Russian guy doing a mukbang.
I mean, well, yeah.
I'm Red Wolf. People
Yeah,
feed me.
of course.
Feed me your
what,
hot,
what do you think? What else would it be?
feed me your hot pockets.
For $20, I will eat 400 hot dogs. Come set.
Your mother has hot pockets. She does not want to eat. I will eat them. The red wolf will eat them.
Boy, bring me your American hot pockets.
Red Wolf does not waste food.
We not have hot pocket behind Iron Curtain.
Or caliente pocket, whatever you call it.
In Russia, hot pocket eat you.
Damn, I wish I knew any Russian. I don't know. But yeah, the planetarium's cool. We did that, and then kind of just I ran a tabletop game Sunday, Knave 2nd edition. I don't know if you guys are familiar with. There's a YouTuber called The Questing Beast. He covers a lot of different tabletop RPGs, and it's Knave is his design. It's pretty cool. It's an old school D&D dungeon crawl style. It's a classless system, which makes the name extra clever. So everyone's human. Essentially, anyone can try to sneak attack, power attack, cast spells. You just have to have like a spell book if you want to cast spells, and you have to have like a relic if you want to cast like a divine spell. And so yeah, it's nice. I think it's really cool because it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, it's different. It's different, and the way it handles damage is really cool too, because it's like, you have hit points, but once your hit points run out, you start taking damage. That damage goes to like your item slots. So it's like, once all of your item slots are destroyed, then you're dead. And as an item slot is destroyed, whatever you had in that slot, whether it's like a piece of armor or your gold, when that slot's destroyed, you lose the stuff.
Does it always destroy the inventory in a certain order?
It does. So there's strategy.
So you're better off putting your valuable
Yes.
shit at the very bottom of the
top.
Or the top.
Yeah, because it
goes from the
bottom up.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is a really cool system. It does get a little tricky because I ran into an issue where I'm running it and like someone uses an item, and so it's gone out of their slot, and it's like, okay, well, like that slot's not as valuable anymore. And then, they erase it from, like, let's just say it was in the middle of their inventory.
Yeah.
Well, it's paper and pencil, so it's like they're not going to erase everything and jump everything up,
Right.
So that was my only little.
So do you get your
issue with
slot
it.
back with heals and stuff?
Yeah, you can, if you rest in a safe haven, which is
Mhm.
essentially a town, you recoup 1 per day.
But you don't get what was in it
No.
back?
No, but we were kind of, the way I was doing it was like, if it makes sense, like for you to be able to, for someone else to pick it up, like if you're losing an item slot when you're like dangling over like a ledge, yeah, that's probably gone.
So the
It's
item
just
falls
narratively,
out of
that's
your
probably gone.
inventory.
Yeah,
in
that's-
other words.
yeah.
I got you.
But like if it's in combat or something and it's not like a piece of armor or something that's destroyed, yeah, sure, it's on the ground. Someone else can pick
Gotcha.
it up. So it's
Cool.
cool. It's neat.
It sounds very different.
Yeah, it's different. It's cool. There's another one I haven't run yet, but I want to, called Shadow Dark. And Shadow Dark's another old school Renaissance game. So it's a lot like first edition D&D. But they kind of streamlined the bookkeeping a little bit, and it's like, it's interesting because it's a concept that I've thought of before, but I've never implemented. It's like in old school D&D, you keep track of time and turns, and that determines like when your torches and shit go out. But in Shadow Dark, it's when someone lights a torch, you set a timer. It's a 1 hour real life timer. So it pushes the players to action, where it's like, you know, if it's a turn, you can talk about what you're going to do on your turn for 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you know you've got a consumable item that's going to, you know, be
Right.
gone in 1 hour real life time, and you only have 3 torches, it's like, okay, we better like
Incentivizes
fucking lock in
moving on.
and get through this dungeon. I love OSR. I think it's really, really cool. I've run a few sessions, but it is like, it's slow. Like it's a dungeon. It's a fucking dungeon crawl, which I like. I think some people find that to be boring, but I think I've played so much of like modern D&D that's real fast and kind of snappy, that it's kind of neat to go back and like go to something that's like just, it's a crawl. It's just like about, it's more about survival. It's about like making sure you've got all the things that you need to make it through this dungeon, and so it's different. It's neat.
And that's certainly cool too. Like I always like when we did used to do that kind of stuff in D&D when it was 3rd edition, we'd play.
Yeah.
You know, it was way more like that.
Yeah.
So no, I certainly, I'm with you on that. That's a good, like, to sit down and have strategy and not just kicking the door constantly.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, I don't know, a lot of the fun of the old school stuff is it's so deadly. It's like, it's so deadly that you don't run into the problem with you have overpowered characters.
Yeah.
Because it's like they just don't typically live that long.
Yeah.
Like I've never been in an old school game or run an old school game where we ever got to use the stronghold rules, where it's like, oh, I've amassed enough gold where I can buy a stronghold. That's never happened. So that's pretty much it.
Right.
Let's see. So as the time of this publication, Anna will have graduated from Murray State. So she
Nice.
graduates on Saturday.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So we'll go to that 6-hour graduation on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Day before Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So your weekend is booked.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. But no, then, you know, she'll do that, and then in the fall she moved to Knoxville and start audiology school, and then she gets married this time next year. So whole big thing all the way
Wow,
around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big events.
That Murray State graduation, when my sister graduated, I went to that, and I can tell you that I was happy to be there for her. But that graduation sucks ass.
Yep. I've
So-
only been to one.
Sucks ass.
Yep.
It sucks at SIU as well. I went to my
I remember
son's
you-
SIU
yeah.
graduation, and it was just like, Jesus God, get there. Is that him? Yep. All right. Bye. I'm out.
I've only walked at high school. I've never
Yeah.
walked in
Yeah,
any other
sure.
graduation ceremony.
Is important question. Is Jack going?
Well, I'll probably give it to my mom because
Okay.
there's no fucking way.
Because Henry went to my sister's graduation, and Henry I think he was 2 or 3 at the time, and that kid was a trooper. He was good.
Yeah, but
But
he could
he-
tell he
he-
was having problems.
Yeah, he needed a lot of like breaks and activities and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the only other one I went to was Meg's. So showed up at the start, saw how many people and how slow it was, walked across the street to Backyard Burger, had a very long lunch, took my time,
Succulent.
played on my Game Boy, walked back.
They're on the
Because she was,
bees.
because she was an R at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
So like, still sat there for 2 hours, and as soon as she was done, got the fuck out.
Yeah.
But I've got this for us to try. So
that
the
jerky?
latest Final Boss Sour.
Oh.
It's basically fruit jerky this
Yeah.
month. So this is level 2 passion fruit orange,
Ooh.
which I have already had this one.
Oh yeah. What'd you think of it?
It tastes really fucking good.
Okay. I mean, I
But-
like passion fruit.
But when you said jerky, this is very much
Yeah,
fruit
it is.
jerky that resembles wax lips.
Yeah.
But it is good.
You weren't supposed to eat the wax lips, were you? I used to get in trouble for eating the wax lips.
Same.
What were you supposed to do with them if you don't eat
Exactly.
them? Just put
Right.
them on?
Exactly.
Like,
What's the fun in that?
I'll put on lipstick. It's fine.
Yeah, and why do they
Is it
taste
less
so
gay?
damn good?
These are big leathery pieces. You
They
weren't
do look like fucking wax lips.
I don't want to try it as wax lips.
Whoops, I
'cause
got two.
It's gonna get all stuck to my mustache.
So, passion fruit, orange.
It's good. It's thick.
Mm-hmm.
It's thick.
I like those Theoxins.
I like it. It's not,
Not
super sour.
Sour. Yeah, you got me on. You took it right out of my mouth. Give it back.
Blech.
Yeah, for a level 2, not very sour.
Mm-mm.
But
Especially compared to the level 2
I think
strawberries.
the level 2.
Yeah.
I think it really just depends on what the sour stuff is on.
Yeah, the fruit. Mm-hmm.
The strawberry seems to take that shit to the next level.
Yeah. Soaks it up, I guess.
but I think the flavor is probably my favorite.
It is a really
Just
good
the flavor of the
flavor.
fruit.
Yeah, it's good. I don't like how thick it is.
I mean, you have to really work on
You
it.
gotta really, yeah, you gotta really chew it. Jerky is like, yeah, it is like jerky.
It's not like the others. You can just pop one in your mouth and
Mm-hmm.
keep going. This is like,
A commitment.
it's a knife and fork.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you got to work at it.
Even if it was that chewy, but still like bite-sized pieces. Like these
Mm-hmm.
are like
Yeah, big.
sides of beef.
Right.
They look like autumn leaves. They're that big.
Yeah. That's a good comparison. Well, that's all I got. If you guys want to talk about the shadow.
Yeah, let's do it. Might be a little
yeah.
bit of a shorter episode tonight, but we've earned that.
I don't know that it will. We'll see.
Well, as some of you may know, The Shadow is a 1994 Alec Baldwin movie.
With
Alec Baldwin, John Lone, and Penelope Ann Miller.
a bunch of comedic actors in it.
Bunch of them.
John Winters.
We got Jonathan Winters.
I haven't seen him since Mork and Mindy.
No
Like,
shit, right?
wow.
Yeah, I was like, what? And then,
What Murph doing?
We got
right, yeah, Raymond's dad,
Peter Boyle.
Peter fucking
Peter
Boyle.
Hell yeah. And,
the dad from Alf,
Yes, is in
Yeah, I
that.
forgot
Yes,
about
he
him,
is.
yeah.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, of course, who like is super entertaining.
Goes
So-
full Pennywise.
Yeah,
there
he
at the
really
end.
Yeah, I know,
does.
with like the fucking like drool and shit.
Come out and fight me like a man.
Yeah, right. When Nikki and I were watching it, she was like, I think this might be the 5th movie I've seen with Tim Curry in it where he's wearing a pinstripe suit.
Yeah. The last being Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Yep, she watched that one with me and Clue.
And Clue. Yep. Sir Ian McKellen, Gandalf himself, is in this movie.
Ian McKellen cosplaying as Walter Matthau.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's
For
like
real.
what? It was crazy to see him like aged up because they got it super fucking wrong as far as like how he would age.
But yeah, I love this cast.
Yeah,
This cast is fucking great.
it was
was
crazy.
It was a
Crazy
good cast. Basically, it takes place in the 1930s. The synopsis is in 1930s New York City, the Shadow, Alec Baldwin, battles his nemesis, Shawan Khan, who is building an atomic bomb.
Out of bronzium?
Bronzium. Yeah,
A bronzium sphere.
I'm not interested in your spheres.
I have
Beryllium and bronzium make atomic bomb.
I have a as I mentioned before, I have a TADPOG totals list for today for the Shadow.
Please do. I will shut the fuck up for it.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I like the interaction. I just pretend like I don't. Okay.
I feel like that's how we'll kill you one day. Is you'll stroke out from all the interruptions.
Maybe, but I'd die happy. So the Shadow.
Well, it's good to know.
Starring.
It's very good to know that's how you feel.
Alec Baldwin in 1994. The only thing is that I'm going to keep going. So if the listener misses something funny, It's your fault.
They're not.
actually.
They're not gonna.
Directly. Yeah, they're not. You're not wrong. They like the fact that you interrupt me all the time. That's what's funny.
No, that wasn't a dunk on your totals. That was a dunk on our jokes.
Yeah, no, I know what you meant. Liar. Okay. This week's TADPOG totals brought to you by The Shadow, starring Alec Baldwin. Okay, here we go. 1 set of nasty Alec Baldwin fingernails. Remember, I wrote this when I was super fucking drunk
When he's like
last night.
shredding the meat with it to feed to the Sharpay.
Feed to the dog. Yeah, it was real bad.
I just watched Big Trouble Little China. So
Oh, well, speaking of the entire cast of the
Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China,
Seinfeld 4. That guy's in it.
the knife from The Golden Child, 1 hand-biting knife hilt, 1 wretched lair of villainy, aka New York City,
Right.
circa 1930.
Yep, I love that.
1 pair of concrete shoes, several minutes of sustained maniacal laughter. This guy wouldn't stop doing that. It was driving me fucking. I was irritated.
Dude, there was a point where I was like, I asked Nikki, I was like, is that Alec Baldwin or is that like, did they just clip Vincent Price from Thriller?
Yeah, maybe. Several minutes of it.
Bless
Bless
you.
you. Goodness.
thank you.
Several minutes of sustained maniacal laughter. Okay. 1 cab driver, Peter Boyle. 1 constantly evening gown wearing psychic leading woman. 1 obligatory sexy big band backed by speakeasy singer. Let me read that again. 1 obligatory sexy big band backed speakeasy singer. 1 serious lack of chemistry between the leading man and the leading woman.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I had the same note.
1 Neelix from Star Trek Voyager is a weak-minded cop who kills himself because of the con guy doing his hypnosis on him.
Yep.
1 descendant of Genghis Khan that has a taste for American bourbon. 1 Sir Ian McKellen, ignorant, colorblind, mad scientist, seductive apple fondling. 1
Hell yeah.
improbable pneumatic tube. 1 Brooklyn bat cave. Closed circuit TV before there was TV. Several ill-fitting Alec Baldwin suits. 1 pistol-wielding Mongol warrior. 1 attempted assassination by hypnotism. 1 bullet collision. That means the bullets hit each other.
Right.
Bullet collision.
Is this the first movie to do that? Surely not, right?
No, probably not. Maybe.
But when I saw it, I
Oh.
was like, huh.
Huh.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah.
They're both so goddamn good. They shot each other's bullets.
In
You see.
okay, so I'm a bullet collision apologist when it comes to The Shadow because it's like, okay, they were trained by the same person.
Yeah.
They both have psychic abilities. You know
Right.
what I mean? I feel like once you throw psychic abilities into the mix, it's like, okay, you can
Very
hand-
well endowed psychically.
Yes. Yeah, right. I love that whole fucking scene where he's like essentially Jack Donaghy. It's like the chemistry is so bad with the leading lady that
He's
it's like
talking to
he's
Lemon the
talking
whole
to Liz
time.
Lemon. It's the scene where she's undressing behind
Yeah.
the screen
Yeah.
too, and it's just like, okay, all right.
Inevitable, you Americans are so arrogant speech,
All right.
and bullet hole bubble breathing.
Oh, I liked that.
Uh,
That's when he's
when did that happen? Oh, the thing where he
it's-
floods the room.
yeah, he's flooding the sphere room.
Uh,
And then he goes to the bullet hole that's been shot up with a Tommy gun
Yeah.
prior, and he
Yeah.
starts breathing
Yeah,
the air
saved
from
him.
outside.
saved him
I
from
liked
dying.
that. I
It
thought
a
that
good-
was.
It was good.
I thought it was good and like something I wouldn't expect to see in a movie that was made in what 94. Is it?
94, yeah.
It needed Sonic music, but
Dun, 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 dun,
fine.
dun, dun, dun,
Until he got his
dun,
mouth on the hole.
Yeah.
TADPOG Acting Brilliant Thank You Awards to Peter Boyle for saying, "You know what I love about this job? The excitement." That was actually a really funny line
Yeah, it
because
was.
he and the woman are just standing back watching them fight. They're waiting on something to happen.
Yeah.
And nothing's happening.
He has some funny moments.
He did
'cause
have
it's like
some funny moments.
he's reading the psychic handbook and I can't remember exactly what he says. He says something like, I feel like somebody's somebody's near, and then like a guy like falls off a building behind him.
The girl who says, "Oh, this is Margot Lane." What was her name?
The actress.
actress.
The actress Penelope Ann Miller as Margot Lane.
Penelope
Miller as Margot Lane for
Penelope's
saying
Margot.
the girl is saying, "I can't help that I know what I know about you, and I can't forget it either." Tim Curry is Barley Claymore for saying, "When are you going to come down and see my beryllium sphere?" And my mind controlled. Serena McKellen for saying, "I get a rash from oysters." And finally, Alec
I heard that about
Baldwin.
him.
Finally, Alec Baldwin as Lamont Cranston. Weird. The Shadows, the guy that
That's straight up from the 30s.
Yeah, Lamont Cranston for saying, a.k.a. The Shadow, for saying, "Am I in hell? And you're not going to appoint a task force, a.k.a. these aren't the droids you're looking for."
Right?
He had
Like
a
a Jedi
total
mind trick.
Obi-Wan
Yeah,
Kenobi Jedi mind trick
With
moment
the commissioner.
there. Yeah, and hey, that's the U.S. of A. you're talking about. And oh, that knife. I liked that.
I like
that was a
too.
good line.
Man, when that knife comes back, it's like, oh fuck. The
Trying
cartoon
to-
knife is back.
Yeah.
The Gumby knife has returned.
It looked like Beetlejuice. The knife looked a little like Beetlejuice if he had
Like
made
the-
himself into
Oh,
a knife hilt.
when he's blowing himself up,
Yeah,
when he's
he
the
looks like-
mallet carnival
Yeah.
game, and his head gets all
yeah,
big.
with like the umbrella head.
Yeah. And last night I dreamed I tore all the skin off my face and I was someone else underneath. And
It was a great line. He
Yeah, it was
delivered
a great
He
line.
delivered it great. I mean, it was.
she says, "How are you?" And he goes, "Well, last night I dreamed I tore all the skin off my face and I was somebody else underneath."
And it was
After she was on the beach
described her,
naked.
her dream about being sunbathing.
Yeah.
It was long.
My
fucking
skin was hot and cold,
cold at the same time.
And then he comes with that line. It was
Sand was everywhere.
pretty good delivery.
Liked it.
It's like, damn, girl, this is the 30s. You want some of that shadow dick. Like, you fucking working for that.
She's supposed to ride on that fake nose for a
And
little
he,
bit.
he ain't fucking having it.
No, he ain't. And then finally, last but not least, as was previously mentioned, psychically, I'm very well endowed. And that is this week's TADPOG Totals list.
Nice.
Shadow,
Thank you. So here's my working theory about the Shadow. The Shadow is a 1930s D&D past Epic 6 game. And the Shadow himself is a 6th level Umbral bloodline sorcerer. And the entire length of the entire
Explain
length
to
of
us
the
what
movie,
that is.
So Umbral, one, I think he's a sorcerer because he's not very smart. He taps into something internally whenever he is the Shadow. So his dark part, and he has, of course, all these dark powers. So his sorceress bloodline comes from his dark heritage, and through the movie he casts invisibility, regular invisibility, because once he gets hit or something, it goes away, or once he hits somebody, he reappears.
It's interesting that you did this because I also had a D&D parallel to, so I want to get into that once you're done.
And then let's see, he also casts darkness at one point. So we got 6th level, these are 3rd level spells. So invisibility, darkness. At the end, he casts shatter,
Yeah.
suggestion, and mage hand. So all fits into that area.
Yep.
And I guess really alter self, since he puts on a slightly different version of his own face.
Yeah, and it's not really even like a disguise. It seems
It's
like
just
it's
more like an accentuation of his natural features.
yeah.
It's weird.
Because I always I don't know much about the Shadow. I didn't know much going into this movie, but
Yeah.
I had always heard that he wore like prosthetics and stuff.
It
But,
was
like,
just the nose and the
eyebrows.
around the eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was
and
really
detect thoughts.
it.
He also casts detect thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's put that out there.
It wasn't fucking nearly the fucking level of prosthetics that we saw in Dick Tracy, which is from the same time period.
yeah.
But I don't know, man. The presentation of this movie was fine. I thought they were they were going for a little Batman kind of vibe, you know, that Batman Tim Burton kind of.
A little bit. I mean, costumes and sets I thought were
they
great.
I did not like the sets.
Oh, really? 'Cause I love
like
that Art Deco sort of vibe.
I feel
agree
like
with you.
I thought they were flat, and it's like I don't know if they were going for like 1930s like style filmmaking, where it's like, well, obviously we have some cars in front of a painting of Times Square. I didn't like that. To me, I was like, oh, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII, and it's like there's a painted background and people are walking on it, and it's like. I feel like if that's what they were going for, they didn't push it enough.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't make it like.
They do it Dick Tracy level where he's
Right.
in the kid in the shack with all
right,
the stuff behind
right,
him.
which
Yeah,
I thought I thought that was really cool in Dick Tracy. So that's the only reason I didn't like it was because I couldn't tell if that's what they were going for, or because I even told Nikki, I was like, I wonder what this looked like in the theater, because on our TV. On a 4K
HD,
television,
yeah.
it kind of looks.
100%.
The sets kind of look chintzy and cheap.
They really didn't look. They looked on my TV the same way. I could tell. I know where you're coming from. I kind of liked it. I had a little bit of appreciation for that, but I can see where you're coming from.
If I knew that's what they were going for, then I feel like I really would have gotten into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like the costuming. I thought the costumes were great.
I also want to that this is clearly a low enough D&D level game that a dancing weapon is a serious threat.
Yeah, it reminded me of there's a haunted house, like a famous haunted house dungeon in Call of Cthulhu, Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu, and like one of the big encounters is with a fucking knife. And it's like that's a big encounter in this movie. He fights a knife twice.
Fucks him up twice.
Yeah, real bad. One time the knife bites him.
So I do have a little bit of trivia, if you don't mind me
Please.
reading some trivia
Hell
from
yeah.
IMDb, because it's some pretty interesting stuff about this movie, which I'm going to say, I'm not ashamed to admit, I kind of enjoyed this movie.
I liked
I
it.
had
I
a
did
good
too.
time with it.
I did
I
too.
thought I was gonna hate the movie.
Me too.
And love the game, and I liked the movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
And did not really care much for the game.
Right. So
that's where I landed.
you know, I can see why it didn't do well. I think they had probably just tapped this well enough, and maybe the boomers
All
that
the
it was
people are
supposed
dead
to,
that listen to the radio show.
right. The boomers this was supposed to attract maybe just weren't into the idea of going.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, after all was said and done, it made about $7 million over what it was budgeted for, about 30 some odd million over a $25 million budget.
Yeah.
So
That's enough
didn't
to
go
release
into
a
the
game.
negative. There's a scene. So here's some trivia. I won't go through the whole list, but there's some good stuff. When Shawan Khan and Lamont Cranston first meet, their dialogue about where Cranston purchased his tie is a spoof on product placement during the radio airing of The Shadow.
Oh, wow.
So when he
Okay.
says, "Where'd you get your
Right,
tie?"
right.
Brooks Brothers.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, that's how they used to advertise in the radio play, which I thought. I wish they would do just more of that now.
That's
instead
like
of showing
Bugs Bunny
commercials.
doing Clark Gable, and none of us fucking got it.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's
Right.
yeah, exactly what that is.
What attracted Tim Curry to this project more than anything else was the chance to work with Sir Ian McKellen. Sam Raimi originally wanted to adapt and direct this movie.
God,
Could you
I would have
imagine?
loved to have fucking seen
Could you
that.
Bruce Campbell as the
Imagine.
Shadow?
Hell yes.
Yes.
Wanted to adapt and direct this movie, but was denied the rights. Instead he made Darkman.
I haven't seen Dark Man.
I have, but it's been a long. It's Liam Neeson,
Okay.
and it's a similar kind of thing.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen at least the carnival section where he goes nuts on a carnival worker for his girlfriend.
Raimi again tried to make the Shadow film with producer Michael E. Uslan in 2006, but the project never got off the ground.
Dude, I would absolutely love to see a Shadow movie like made in modern day, set in the 30s, but like I really liked the Shadow, like the character, the Shadow.
I kind of did too.
I really liked it because it's like and I did a little bit of research. I didn't know much about the Shadow going into it, but like the fact that he is like a complete fucking like evil dude.
He's a
in the
fucking
beginning.
psycho.
And then it's like then it's a weird transformation. Like it's because you see him as like, you know, this fucking evil white man in Thailand who's like shooting dudes and stuff. And it's like, and then it feels like that. I hate to fucking say this because I'm always like, I hate it when they make 3 movies. You know, they make a series out of something, but like really, honestly, I feel like they needed to spend more time with him in Thailand because it's like the way this movie opens was like, holy shit, this fucking rules. Because it's like it opens with like a fucking opium field, and then there's like there's like this den, and there's this hostage situation.
Yeah.
And Cranston don't give a fuck.
No,
I mean,
not at all. He says, shoot through him.
Yeah.
He says, you've been like a father to me. And he says, shoot through him.
yeah, and it's like,
And
holy
is-
shit.
Is the guy he shoots at the beginning, is that Lopan from
Yes.
from Big Trouble in Little
Yes.
China? So,
There are several guys from Big Trouble in Little China in this first part of this movie.
And
then
from
he's also the dad
Dragon.
from
Bruce
Everything
Lee
Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He recently passed away, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And he was like 98 or like he was.
He was also in The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy, if you'd ever seen that. It's not a good movie, but it's got its moments.
But I was like, man, the fucking Shadow is cool as shit. And it's also really neat because it's like, I don't feel like you see fucking superheroes like this. And it's because like he's like a proto superhero where it's like, I don't know, man, they didn't have a formula. And it's like, He's like a fucking crime boss because he's got like he gives people these
this whole
rings.
network of informants throughout the city and people doing him favors and stuff, which is fucking genius.
Okay, so he has the passphrase, "The sun is shining," and then but the ice is
still slippery.
So okay, makes sense. Passphrase, but they also all get the same identical rings.
Yeah.
So.
It's a way that we can identify one another.
Yeah.
How often do you look
It's a
at a man's
secret club,
ring?
you see. I'm sure, like I'm not sure, but I'm willing to bet you each $100 right now that there was some kind of like ring merchandise that people could buy.
surely.
Like, I mean, there's
It was like the little
It's a
orphan
pick 'em in the
Annie
game.
decoder ring
Right.
kind of deal.
Yes.
You know, you
Yeah.
send in cereal box
Totally.
tops and get your fucking shadow ring.
But I love that. I love that he had this fucking network of people,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, okay. Well, now
he ran it like he did his drug den and his
Right.
opium den in
yeah,
Thailand.
Right.
he knew how to centralize and organize.
and I
he had
loved
a
how like
distribution system.
I loved the Jedi shit. I loved it.
When
I
he would,
loved it.
my
When he-
favorite thing is when he would sit back and then the shadow would cover his eyes.
right,
And you will not be organizing a tax force. And it was
right.
like
I
that.
loved it.
But they would
I
keep,
already do
but his
that.
eyes were still bright. You know,
Right.
it was a good
I
effect.
loved it.
And it was cool.
I loved it.
Or
did
when he
too.
tried it on Margot and failed, like you see him get all shadowy.
Right.
You'll forget I was here. No, I won't.
Why
Are you
would I-
drunk?
Are you drunk?
Why would
and
I
then he
forget
faces
that?
back in.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. I had a lot of fun watching it, and it was just a complete surprise to me.
I was surprised too.
I
was,
like the villain too, and I like
Yeah.
that they always had an interesting dialogue
Although
when they.
I'm
met
sorry.
up.
Go ahead.
That's all I had to say. That's it.
I think it was at first I was like, man, why does he have all of his like henchmen dressed as fucking like Mongol, like the Mongol horde? It's like they didn't time travel.
right.
Like,
It's tradition, Dave. That and the pistols. I mean,
You gotta know we're the Mongols, so we're wearing fucking armor.
no, we get it. You're the only Asians in this movie. Oh well, except for the ice is slippery guy.
yeah.
the billboard of the smoking man is a parody of a real one that actually blew smoke rings. The original was for Camel cigarettes, whose motto was "I'd walk a mile for a camel."
I climb a mountain for a llama.
The
Is that
llama
what it was?
cigarette motto parodies with this with "I'd climb a mountain
Yeah,
for a
I
llama."
love
which
that.
just
Yeah, I
goes
picked
back
up
to
on that. Yeah.
Tibet and
You're right.
the whole
Absolutely.
thing is really fucking good. The line, "The weed of crime bears bitter fruit," is taken directly from the conclusion of episodes of the radio show. At the end of every episode, after the announcer has given the credits, the shadow would say, "The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The shadow knows." And then he laughs. So there's always the way to close out the radio show.
Yeah.
And I love that they got all the neat little things called back into there. Bob Kane cited the shadow as a major influence behind Batman.
8 years before Batman was created.
Obviously,
Yeah, totally.
the Batman, and that's one of the reasons I really liked this movie, was because I knew that the shadow came before Batman, and I could see the influence there.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm a fucking super huge Batman fan.
I
so-
think I like the shadow better.
And I
Honestly,
can understand
I
why.
want
I can
to
understand
like.
that.
I want more of the shadow.
Okay.
Like, I love that. Like, I mean, I honestly think this. I would love to see an R-rated The Shadow movie, that is like straight up not for kids. And I don't know, man. I think that could be really like. I feel like that could really work for this character from the fucking 30s.
I don't know why it finally just clicked with me, but in Fallout 4, the Silver Shroud is absolutely, even the costume you get and all that is 100% the shadow.
Okay.
Because it's based off the radio
Right,
show
right.
that this one ancient ghoul is all about and collects the memorabilia. And,
Yep.
My last little bit of, I've got two more. The Cobalt Club is supposed to mimic Harlem's famous Cotton Club. The singer at the Cobalt Club is even intentionally supposed to look like Lena Horne, who sang at the Cotton Club.
Okay.
I caught that. And then finally, when Shawan Khan introduces himself to Cranston, he says he is the last living descendant of Genghis Khan.
But we're all descendants
As
from
of
Genghis Khan.
2005, it is known this was grossly incorrect. Based on DNA of 2003, about 8% of men living in Mongolia are related to Genghis Khan, or roughly 0.5% of the male population of the world as of 2000. That would translate to approximately 5 to 6 million descendants in the 1930s, the time period of the film. So we all got a little Genghis in us.
Yeah.
But that's all I had for the trivia. I thought some of that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the Batman thing, because I learned that, just recently when I was doing research on the Shadow. But man, I fucking love I love the fact that he doesn't turn invisible. It's just him manipulating the minds of the people around
Right,
him. Like he's a fucking, like he's using Jedi mind tricks. Like that's how he does all his shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. And it's awesome that it's like, I don't know, man. There's something that's,
I like the villain hides a whole fucking building from everybody.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So it's funny.
Until he gets stabbed and breaks his concentration.
Right, exactly. It was funny because I was also thinking that he was a spellcaster, but I was thinking more if he was like an illusionist. But also, with enchantment as well.
Yeah, because it makes sense that he were to give up evocation and divination, and
He's got guns. You don't need
those
evocation when you got
Well,
guns.
isn't there is a 3.5 class, isn't there, that just does illusion and enchantment? I can't remember what it's called. It was one of the last books released, and that's all they do. I can't remember what it's called though, but yeah.
I like that he used guns, 2 1911s. Which was like I don't know if that's what I don't know if that's what he's using in the movie.
They are.
But when
They
the
were.
art that I was looking at, I was like, oh, I know those guns.
Yeah.
Those are 1911s.
They were 1911s in the movie.
Which totally that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that fits.
It's a new model.
Right, exactly.
Relatively
Roughly.
new model. It's only
Yeah.
been around 20 years.
And also, he uses a Tommy gun at points, and it's like, I like the character a lot, and I like the character in the time setting, the 30s a lot too. I don't really want to see the Shadow today. I don't want to see that, but I want to see more of the Shadow in the 1930s.
I completely agree.
I think that fucking rules. This in the Shadow is so much more interesting to me than Dick Tracy. Like,
God,
like a fucking
leaps and bounds.
million times more interesting
Leaps
to me.
and
So he was such a problem for Thailand that they had him kidnapped and basically rehabilitated and brainwashed,
and then
now you can go to
sent
America.
New York as punishment to the cesspool of crime, that was New York in the 30s. Yeah.
I loved it.
You have an
too.
uncle there, we think. So you go hang out with your uncle at this club and give women what will be in the future extremely expensive bottles of wine that are now only like 5 years old.
Here's some wine. No, don't drink it. Trust me. It'll be worth something someday.
I love that he's vulnerable. Like he's he's talented, but he's just a dude. There's several times where it's
Tim
like,
Curry shoots him.
Yeah.
Nearly kills him.
yeah, and it's like his powers are cool, but they're not like infallible,
Right.
Because it's like, oh, I can see where he is because the water's moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, bang! Oh shit! And then
Ow!
he gets bit by a knife.
Oh, that knife.
Yeah, I love that.
God,
I
it
love
was
that.
such a good line.
And that knife, I want to talk about that fucking knife. That the fucking effects in this movie, especially the knife.
Did Guardians steal that? Is
In-
the
in-
arrow also the knife?
Oh,
maybe it may be a callback. Yeah.
that fucking knife, dude, looks fucking horrible.
It's bad. It's rough.
really funny. It's really,
And
really
it's
funny.
got this like
yeah, it
voice
reminded
to
me of
it.
Mr. Bill
Yeah.
from SNL. Like the way its mouth like is almost like a racist drawing of a black
Yeah,
man.
it really
30s.
is. It
Oh, no,
really is.
Mr. Knife.
Oh no, I'm gonna bite your hand.
It's not all about power. I'm trying to dominate the knife. No.
But yeah, other than that,
Pleasantly surprised.
I was surprised. I liked it. I turned it on. I watched it in the office. I don't normally do that. My office at home because I was like, I'll throw it on the TV
You watched it.
and play a little game. And then I was like, I started playing. And I was like, fuck it. I guess I'm gonna watch this
Yeah.
because I kept turning towards it so many times.
Well,
It was
I
like,
sat down last night to play Overwatch, and I got into a game, and it went 7 rounds, and we lost. And I was like, "Fuck this! I'm not in the mood." And it was late, but I was like, "Fuck it! I'm just gonna watch."
Save me,
Shadow."
Alec Baldwin.
And
Girl,
yeah,
no.
I did. I had a great time. I drank a lot and just laughed, and I took it in and enjoyed it. I'm giving this one 4 stars. I really liked it.
I'm curious.
I like when Margot reads his mind while he's dreaming and goes inside, and his inner evil is just like, you're not supposed to be here.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of bad effects with faces and fire too.
The fireplace. What the fuck? The thing blows up.
I know.
Fucking
gonna
breaks
crack
the
your
glass
wine
in his
glass.
hand.
Right.
Breaks the glass in his hand while he's asleep, and then he's like, "Someone's here." That's what you took from that?
It's
Your
very
eyebrows are gone, man.
it's very rose red, like the thing that's gonna kill you is just right there, but doesn't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody's here. Is that your doorbell? Fuck.
I'm really curious about the script of the movie because with the cast, like it's a fucking comedic cast,
Yeah.
but it didn't really seem like a funny movie.
It was subtle.
They had funny parts,
It
and
had
it's dry, right?
Very
the
dry,
humor's dry.
subtle delivery, and it worked
It-
really, really well.
It worked, but I'm curious. Like, it's kind of it worked, but it's also there were moments where I'm like, damn, man, they could have. I feel like I liked the cast a lot,
Yeah.
but I feel like they could have done this script with other actors, and it would have been fine.
I agree. Man, I would like to see this done again. Like not modern.
Right, yeah,
in
no,
the
fuck that.
30s,
I
in
don't
the
want that.
proper time
Yeah, yeah.
period. I'd like to see this one done again with good effects and
Or just in do it in black and white.
ooh, black and white. Like, yeah, I think that would be great. It would be good.
Then at the end, switch it to color, so everybody's wearing the green and blue makeup.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah.
you know, the Adams Family house.
Yeah, right.
It was purple. The living room was painted purple because of how it looked on the thing. Could you imagine being in a fucking purple room every day for fucking years?
Right.
Ah! No wonder they were crazy. They weren't acting. They were really like that. It's lead paint. Purple
Yeah.
lead paint.
Yeah, with asbestos carpet. But yeah, man, I liked the movie. I was really surprised. I thought it was going to be. I was not looking forward to watching this movie. I really
wasn't
really,
either.
Really
I was
wasn't.
putting it off. But here we are.
Yep.
We got a game to talk about.
We do. Is there a letter?
There is.
Oh shit! Didn't expect one.
A lot of things about this whole setup I wasn't expecting. Brad, aka Zine Lord, writes, "Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?" Tadpog knows.
N-O-S-E.
Tadpog knows. I think you said you were doing the shadow. Anyway, please let me know before Monday if I'm wrong. I've got to stop listening to the podcast right after I wake up. This game never came out. Tough break for all you shadow heads out there. The magazines reviewed it anyway. Here's a review by Bacon from the January 1995 Game Pro. You see, this game was released, or is not released, because the movie didn't do well. I believe we covered that. But the review copies were all sent out to the magazines.
So that is the reason that it wasn't released, because the movie flopped?
Yeah, it did. It had a bad, since the movie did so badly, they didn't think they were going to be able to make any money on this game, so they canned the whole project. But like I said, the review copies had been sent out to all the review mags, and they had written reviews.
And it's done. Like, the game is done. I was surprised at how, like, finished it is, because when I started up and it's like, oh, there's an options screen, that means that they were like fucking done.
They were ready.
you know.
Okay, so Bacon, 1995 Game Pro, Bacon writes, arriving almost 6 months after the movie died in the theaters, The Shadow isn't just late for dinner, it's behind the times. Decent graphics and thrilling sounds don't make up for flat, repetitive gameplay. Save the world. Shuan Khan, a descendant of Genghis Khan, has invaded New York, and it's up to the Shadow to fight through 8 levels of beat-em-up action and prevent disaster. As you wade through areas like Chinatown, you'll put your simple array of punches, jumps, and kicks to exhaustive use against unending waves of the same old enemies. Occasionally, you take a break from the fighting to shoot it out. The responsive controls let you firmly maneuver through both types of fighting, but even with 3 supernatural powers, Invisible, Dash, and Devastate, a more varied set of moves and foes would have added some spice to this plain, basic game. Saved by the Bell. A great soundtrack and intriguing backgrounds rescue this cart. Impressive, haunting tunes fill each level, perfectly setting the dark mood, while standard grunts adequately round out the audio. Visually creative scenarios, such as fighting in the lobby of the Empire State Building, depart impressively from the beat-em-up norm and keep you involved. Once that good impression wears off, the bland sprites and animations won't keep your attention. Shadow fans and beat-em-up beginners might enjoy this average game. For others, a quick weekend rental will show you what lurks in the hearts of this Shadow. Graphics 3.5, sound 4.5, control 3.0, fun factor 3.0, challenge adjustable $59.95. 16 megs available now. Beat 'em up. 1 player, 8 mission, side view, multi-scrolling. Later.
Bye.
Bye, Zine Lord.
I agree with it. Summarized as an average beat 'em up. I feel like it's very average. It's
Felt Batman Returns-ish to me.
absolutely. That's the first. That's how it plays. Like it, how it controls, except for the shooting sections.
That was a nice departure. I mean, I don't love how it was done.
Me neither. It's neat. I wish they would have done it more like. Have you ever played the Punisher arcade game from the 90s? I wish they would have done it more like that, where it's straight up like you don't have to be lined up exactly with the person in order to shoot them.
You had to be less accurate with your punches and right exactly on with your guns.
Right.
I'm glad you said that.
And it didn't feel fair because the enemies, when they would shoot at you, they didn't have to be lined up with you.
Yeah.
And that was super fucking annoying because it's like...
The guy with the minigun at the beginning, like I'm completely off panel just getting hit.
Yeah. And it's like... What was frustrating about that was, okay, well, it's actually more efficient for me to just stay close to them and punch them in the shooting section. So it's like defeats the purpose of having a shooting section.
Yep.
So that's what I didn't like. I like that they thought they had a good idea and they were like, the Shadow uses guns. We should have some shooting sections. But the fact the implementation was not good.
Mhm.
Poor execution. Great idea, poor execution.
I like that he had a variety of special shadow moves.
Yeah,
that
I
he
didn't know you could
use.
cycle through
I
it
didn't
first.
either, so I only had the
dash,
dash.
which is
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
I mean,
It's
it did a
fine.
little something.
Yeah, and it's a
alright.
cool effect.
Yep.
I like that. It's like a mode 7-ish kind of like
Yeah.
blur that's added to
Mm-hmm.
them.
I like that it regenerates, so it's not just like one level or takes away from your health like other beat 'em ups of that era where a special move drains your health, so I would never fucking use them.
Right.
So
sure.
here you could use it strategically and still recover. Like
yeah,
I like the way it was used.
you recover it with rings that you find. That fills
Yep.
your gauge.
So that was nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
That plenty enough like healing items, like the first aid kit for a full heal, a meat for smaller, apple for
Apple.
smaller. So,
Yeah.
and those were like not overly plentiful, not too rare, like consistent to keep it flowing.
It's just so my biggest complaint. I like beat 'em ups, so I was excited to play this. My biggest complaint was so I put an hour into this, and it was about that time I ran out of lives and continues, and I was on level 4. Like the boss of level 4, which was like a boxer. I was fighting a boxer. It was long. It was it felt like a slog. Like there's a level which there's like a level where you're on an elevator on the
course.
Empire State Building, and it's like it makes sense that this elevator would take a long time to get to the top of
Right.
the Empire State Building, but it's like, guys, this kind of fucking sucks because I feel like I've been on this elevator for 20 minutes. Oh, it's because I have. It's because I have literally been on this fucking elevator for 20 minutes. It stops. Guys get on. You fight them. Once you beat them, the elevator goes up a little more, stops. More guys get on. And it's like, I know it's a trope. I love that there's an elevator level or portion, but it shouldn't. It's so long. It's
Well, since it's the 30s, I wish they had made it a little different, and like you had to defend the elevator
The
operator.
operator.
If you wanted
Oh,
to go
yeah.
up.
That'd be good.
That
That'd be really good.
would've
Because if they
actually.
knock him out, you don't go anywhere. Guys keep going on, so you got to defend the operator to go up.
resuscitate the operator quickly.
Press.
You do CPR.
It's a really good idea, actually. I like that.
Yeah, it's like Tapper. Or
Yeah,
the Simpsons, where you're trying to revive them after the Simpsons
Oh,
arcade
you
game
slap,
after
slap,
they
slap,
fall
slap,
off.
slap,
Yeah.
slap.
I also didn't like that. I know this is a beat 'em up thing, but like, I got really tired of fighting the same people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
because
yeah.
and it might be
Even
different
Final Fight had a little more variety.
variety. Yeah,
Or at least the design was the variety, not like guy in jeans, guy in sailor outfit.
right. Who fight
Black guy.
They
Like,
fight the
that's
same
the
exact
variety.
way. That was my problem with it. Is like, not only do they not look very different, but they also do the same thing. Where it's like, well, if they're this close to me, I know they're gonna punch. Once I knock them down, I bet they're gonna get up and slide towards me.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, they get real predictable.
There are no punk girls that are faster and have whips.
Right, yeah,
nothing
right.
breaking it up
Yeah.
to big muscle dudes.
And dude, I felt like the weapons that you get fucking are stiff. It's like I
hated the pipe.
Dude,
Fucking.
the katana works just the same way. I was excited. I was like, katana! And then it's like the shadow, like his range of motion is that of like
He's got like a locked
Charlton
elbow.
Heston. You know, it's like, yeah, like a 12-degree thing. And it's like, dude, it's so much better to just fucking kick a guy than to try to hit him with a katana.
Yep. Just jump kick.
Just
jump
jump
kick
kick.
rather than
just jump
melee
kick.
weapon hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't hate it.
didn't
I like the
hate
movie
it.
more than the game, but I didn't
Dude.
totally hate the game.
As far as Ocean games go, because it was developed and was going to be published by Ocean, it's pretty good. Like compared to the other Ocean games that I've played, like this one's like, okay, all right, sweet.
I don't like beat 'em ups. I found it to be approachable and easy enough to get into and walk through a little bit and have fun with. I mean, it was, again, you're right, it wasn't super entertaining, but it wasn't the worst game I've ever played. It wasn't the worst beat 'em up I've ever played.
No,
honestly.
yeah, me neither. But I do think it's tough because It's funny that I'm glad that you got the Batman Returns vibes from it as well, because it's like, and that makes it tough that I felt like it feels like it plays that way, because Batman Returns is like such is more fun to look at, like
Right.
way
It has
more
little
fun to look
details
at.
in it that call back to the movie and things
Yeah.
like that. And this was a pretty big departure from the movie. It has to be to a point. I get it.
Right,
But
sure.
I like Batman Returns had like the guy looking for the key card or whatever in the snow at the very beginning,
Right.
or shit like that.
Yeah.
So
You didn't like the haunted house in the movie? You know, like the haunted house section in the movie?
or I love it when you go on that boat and fight the boxer though. When the Shadow did that, that was
Yeah.
great.
That actually would have been good. There's points, and it's like, as much as I think the shooting sections are cool, it's like, I don't know, man. Why don't you just shoot that boxer?
Right. We know you have guns.
Right.
They're right there. Just use them.
Just use them.
The Shadow would use the
Yes.
guns.
Yeah.
If he couldn't psychically tell him to just jump off the boat or whatever.
Right. That would be cool too.
Does he having some psychic ability
Yeah.
in that to be able to make one of the guys fight with the other?
Yeah.
Fight each other.
Okay. All right. This question's been asked for us before, and you saying that made me think of this. People have asked us in the past. I know Telltale's not a thing anymore, but fuck, man, a Telltale, the Shadow
Dude.
would have been fucking great with all the fucking dialogue trees and like considering that you can manipulate people's minds and
Yeah.
stuff. I think that, and you make connections with people who are your agents.
Idea.
And it's like based on
Yep.
your decisions, you get this agent, but not that one.
recruit
Fuck
him,
yeah.
kill him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
That is. That's a good
Fucking eat
idea.
that shit up,
Tasty.
dude. Yeah. Especially if you did it like it had voice acting that's like a fucking radio play
Oh,
kind of
fuck
like
yeah.
shit.
Like all the dialogue has like a little static behind it.
Yeah.
Like radio static.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. Get there in a jiffy,
Yeah.
Mac.
Mac.
Did you guys have any achievements?
I did it again, y'all.
You got Chat GP achievements?
Yes.
All right.
Only I went down a fucking rabbit
Oh,
hole.
fun. Did you have it generate images of your achievements?
No, I should have, but it's gonna. It's
Well,
gonna,
what Chat GPT says each of us would give for achievements, get that green.
Oh, there we go.
So I have the same thread going for these games.
Smart.
Like next, I just type the name of the game and it gives me everything that I needed.
Sure.
Right. This time it didn't give me achievements, so I said, "How about some funny achievements in the style of TADPOG podcast? These can be funny, risque, or whatever, just not too self-deprecating." Because remember,
Right. That was our criticism. Yeah. Because all of them were like, unless you can't get your dick sucked.
It's like you just
So-
shadowed my mind right there because I was just thinking like, "Yo, it's a dick sucking thing."
no, there is still some in here, but
Okay.
Chat GPT responds to me.
It ends all of them with, I know you've never felt a tit.
I know you're a bunch of fucking incels, so that's what I'm shooting for. It says,
Like a bag of sand because you
it
never.
says
40-year-old
absolutely
virgin.
channeling that Tadpog energy, a little raunchy, a little weird, and totally unapologetic. Here's
I wish.
There's some funny, risque. There is a moment later when we get through this fucking list. This goes on. There's
Okay.
more
Okay.
past these achievements.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm here for it, baby.
It says, here are some funny, risque, and offbeat achievements tailored to the Shadow on SNES, as if Jake and Tyler were riffing on it during a drunken deep dive.
Hell yeah.
Why didn't you tell me your name was Jake?
That's the other guy who likes
I don't
the
even
coconut
know-
almonds.
I don't even get mentioned now. Thanks, Chat GPT. All right,
Well,
Chat-
maybe you and I merged to
Maybe.
form
The
Jake.
Jake.
I feel like if we
We're the
merged,
Jake.
we'd probably be a Jake.
You're probably right. I do. Number one, guns out, buns out.
Hell yes.
Automatically whip out your pistols during combat and pretend you're not overcompensating. See, it's still
There it
doing
is.
the thing.
There it is.
The-
I wish you could do that. I wish you had an option to like, all right, pulling the guns out.
I get
and
10
have limited
seconds with
ammo,
guns.
so you have to be
Yeah.
choosy.
Right.
as opposed to
When you
just
use it.
gun time. Tap, tap, tap,
And
tap,
then
tap,
your
tap,
gun
tap,
maybe
tap.
recharges fully to you can use it again over the course of half
find
30
ammo.
seconds.
Like
or
you
how
find
many
everything
enemies you
else.
defeat.
Find ammo,
It's like by
yeah.
the time you beat up 15 guys with your punches
Pick-
and kicks,
You fight guys with guns. Take their ammo.
take their guns. Yeah.
All right, the next achievement, Invisiboner.
Hell
All right.
yeah.
All right. All right,
You-
ChatGPT, it's on brand.
Use the invisibility special while standing uncomfortably close to an enemy goon. They can't see you.
Goon on a
No,
goon.
no, listen.
Oh, sorry.
They can't see you, but they can feel the tension.
Okay, all right.
Number 3, Shawan banging. Defeat Shawan Khan while humming your own sexy saxophone theme. Bonus if you're shirtless in real life. These are so much
That
better
one was
than
gleaned
ones
from the
I could
Shake
come up with.
episode.
No,
So-
they're not.
That-
They're not. Yours are so
No,
much
no,
better
no.
than these.
It's just they're so bad
Oh, right. Yeah.
that it's more fun to read these.
Oh, yeah.
ChatGPT listened to Fist Puncher alone, and that's an Ashley Shake achievement. 110%.
Number 4, 50 floors of foreplay. Beat the game without skipping a single cutscene and whisper, "Yes, Daddy," every time the shadow talks in third person. That's a good one.
Okay. All right.
Whip me, mind control, Daddy, is the number 5 achievement. Get hit by the same mind controlled NPC 3 times before realizing they're not on your side. It's fine. You like a little danger. Number
Wish you
6.
could mind control some of the enemies. It'd be fun.
Number 6, Con, you feel the love tonight. Use
That's an Ian achievement. Okay.
Use a dome. Use a dome attack at point blank range for very sensual, consensual AOE blast. Number 7, this ain't a hotel, it's a no-tell. Beat the final boss in the hotel monolith without taking damage. Then light a cigarette and lie about it to your friends. Shadowboxing with myself. Kill every enemy on a stage without letting your gun auto draw. Just fists, baby. Real men punch out psychic henchmen. So then ChatGPT says, want more? I could go full Tadpog After Dark and crank up the innuendo and weirdness, or even come up with fake shadow-themed drink recipes or listener voicemail style bits. So I said, go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're replaceable.
He says, excellent. Welcome to Tadpog After Dark, the Shadow Edition, where every special move is charged with questionable intent, every henchman has daddy issues, and every achievement smells vaguely of leather, regret, and gun oil. Here are some truly absurd Tadpog-style achievements, complete with not safe for work energy and bits that sound like Tyler's reading off cue cards while Jake is just dying laughing in the background. ChatGPT listens to us, Jake.
Yeah, I know, Jake.
That's exactly what I was shooting for. All right, number 1. There's more, okay? This is going to go on.
Thank you, Jake. You're welcome, Jake.
The Edgelord of 1937. Complete the game without smiling once. Bonus. Wear a fedora while playing and refuse to explain the plot to your partner, citing psychic burden.
Okay, that's a me achievement.
I thought the no-tell motel was.
They're all a little less, aren't they, Jake?
Yes, Jake.
I am not a hero. I'm just complicated. Start every level by muttering a dramatic monologue to yourself in your best gravelly noir voice. Bonus points if you break up with someone mid-game just to commit to the bit. Number 3, psychic dom sub energy. Use the mind control power on 3 enemies in a row and whisper, "You belong to me now." Bonus if you're alone in your apartment and your cat is silently judging you. Number 4, the long, dark cloak of shame. Trip on your own cloak animation while fighting an enemy and pretend it's in tactical role, awarded only if you immediately blame the SNES controller. I'm going to skip forward to the next section because now it's just getting stupid. All right. So at the end of these achievements, ChatGPT says, want a fake Tadpog voicemail segment next? Or shadow-themed Patreon tier rewards like $10 gets you an invisibility cloak and mild emotional detachment? My response was, fake voicemail segment!
All caps, exclamation mark.
No, just exclamation mark.
If it adjusts itself
Chat-
as poo brounder,
Oh yeah.
It's a co-host now.
Yeah.
ChatGPT responded to that with, "Oh heck yeah!
Oh,
Welcome
Close.
yeah.
Welcome to the TADPOG hotline, where the voicemails are fake, but the emotional damage is real. Here's your fake voicemail segment for the Shadow episode, complete with that chaotic, low-stakes, oversharing energy from longtime listeners and emotional support gamers."
I love that ChatGPT's mom won't let him swear.
I know, right? Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah, Jake. Hey, Tadpog, this is Calvin from North Carolina, or as Shadow calls me, the one guy with too much back hair. Anyway, longtime listener, first-time caller, recently divorced, unrelated. I want to say I booted up the Shadow after a fifth of Jim Beam, and y'all, this man turned invisible, and I turned emotionally vulnerable. Like, I watched him disappear into a puff of smoke, and I whispered, I wish I could do that at family gatherings. Anyway, 7 out of 10. Good cloak physics. Okay, love you, bye. This shit goes on for a while. I'm going to read one more, and then we're going to move on to Dave's achievements. Let's pick.
Jake's.
Oh, I thought, yeah, I forgot.
Please.
Please. What have I?
My Christian
I have.
name,
How
thank
many?
you.
How many times have I asked you to call me Jake? For the love of God, could you just do one thing right?
I've been the shadowing you my entire life. I've been Jake all along.
Okay.
I want the new album art to be you guys in a fucked up chimera.
Is that Jake Cranston?
Oh, here's one. Hey, Tadpog, it's your boy, Turkish Dave again.
Turkish Dave.
I wish it was Turkish Jake.
I wish it was Turkish Jake too.
I got a theory. What if the Shadow is just Darkwing Duck's edgy older brother who smokes cloves and quotes Nietzsche during boss fights? I think about it. Also, I made a Shadow-themed D&D subclass. It's called Mysterious Daddy. I'll fax it over. Peace!
Okay, so the first one you read didn't sound like a real call. That one did. I could actually see like
It's your
Pooh
boy.
Brounder. Yeah. Yeah, leaving that one.
Yeah. So
And I'm glad that Darkwing Duck came up because there's a point where the Shadow is like a cartoon shadow in the movie, and I was like, oh, that reminds me of Darkwing Duck.
well, I think Darkwing Duck is based
has
on
to
the
be,
Shadow,
right? Right, has to be.
There's
Makes me
trouble.
want to
I
play
gotta call
Darkwing Duck.
DW. Yeah.
So that's it for my Chat GP achievements for this week.
Pretty good. We should close with that.
Yep.
But it's interesting because it's like I use ChatGPT a lot at work, and I kind of am getting to the point where I don't know. I feel like I feel like I'm developing ChatGPT radar, where it's like I can read something on like social media and be like, oh, okay, they're doing what I'm doing.
Right.
I honed that skill grading papers.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did.
It was always super obvious when I checked their Facebook profile and then checked their writing submissions, and they're very different.
Yeah, very different. So people are definitely using ChatGPT to write their YouTube scripts. Like, because like now I'm watching you, like when I was doing research for The Shadow, I was like, oh, ChatGPT wrote this.
Yeah.
Like they're just reading what ChatGPT wrote.
Absolutely.
So it's one of those where it's like, I mean, hey, look, use the tools at your disposal, but also it is straight up like, yeah, we're fucking doomed, man.
Yeah. Well, and I unapologetically do it this way because I like to see some of the bad results.
Oh yeah,
Because they'll
You're
be like,
skewing it, not
Oh, right.
using it.
yeah, and they'd be like trip over your cloak animation. It's like, half the time I don't know if the shit that it's saying is actually in the game.
right.
And
Right.
when I get to those points, I'm like, okay, ChatGPT has checked out,
Yeah.
and I'm done. I'm not gonna do it anymore.
I don't think there's anything wrong with using it. I mean, it's a tool. But what I think is what I think is dangerous is when it's used and then it's just used
and not
edited,
edited
or looked
or
at
cited
with
or
a human
anything. Yeah,
eye.
yeah.
You know, that's where I feel like, because I see shit that's posted. Someone got on to me because information was wrong about one of our things that we posted. And I was like, really? What is it? And they didn't give me any information. And I looked and looked and looked. It was a sister organization that had posted something that was, it was obviously ChatGPT and was like not like edited by a human.
Right.
So that was super annoying because it's like, I don't know, man. Just it's a paragraph. Look at it.
Did
Throw a
you read
little
about
flair
that
in there.
that law firm that tried to submit briefs using Chat GPT generated like brief descriptions to a
No.
courtroom, and
No.
like it was citing cases that didn't exist and legal precedent that was not
Oh my
real
God.
and shit like that.
I don't ever depend on it because I don't trust it. It's been wrong so many times, like needing something from it. It's been like, rewrite this email so it doesn't sound fucking stupid.
Right.
That's
You
how I
know?
Yeah, that's how
also
I use it
Make
too.
it sound professional, and then I go in and I clean it
Yep.
up and make it my way.
I like to give it bullet points where
But-
it's like, write a thing, include this information. Bop, 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 bop. I don't want it looking up its information. I want to be giving it the information and just have it write me something
Yeah.
that I can then edit.
Yeah. Give me a form. Give me a structure,
Right.
and let me add
Yeah,
things.
it's
to
Let
the
me take out the
structure.
end dashes that are the red flag for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
In emojis, the number of times I have to be like, dude, I said write this in an academic style. In what fucking planet do you include the balloon emoji in an academic style? You fool!
I
This
trusted
is gonna be
you.
huge with Gen
You
Alpha.
were the chosen one.
It's gonna be all the rage when your son's writing his doctoral thesis in 20 years, but fine.
Right? Yeah. And yeah, you're right, because they're all going to be using ChatGPT.
I mean, I asked it the other day. I was like, "Hey, what's the end of support date for the SonicWall NSA 3600?" And it said it's a piece of technology, and it was like it was just wrong. It was just wrong, and that's the easiest piece of information to look up. But I had it open. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just ask it so I can get these numbers. Maybe it'll give me a list of good replacement devices, whatever." Nope. It was wrong. I cross-checked it with SonicWall, and it was like not even close.
Yeah,
It was-
that doesn't surprise me.
And it's like, how do you miss?
What's your source? 4chan.
Yeah. How do you miss that? Right? It's like that's stuff. Sometimes it's convenient to have an ongoing thread
Right.
that has all the information
Right.
relevant to something. If I come up with more questions, but every time it does something like that, I'm like, well, fuck. Now I don't know if what I'm reading is accurate,
Right.
and I've got to go cross check it when I could have just done the fucking research myself, you know. So there's a long way to go.
Yep.
But
I've argued with it before. I
I
can't
have
remem-
too.
I can't remember what it was, but there was like I was testing it essentially when I first started fucking with it, and I was like, what do I know kind of a lot about? I'm gonna ask it about some Super Nintendo games. And I started asking it questions, and it was like it had false information about like who developed a certain game. I can't remember what it was, but it was like not like it was like a Natsume game or something like that. It wasn't something that was like really, really obscure, but it also wasn't something that was like Capcom or Nintendo. And it got it wrong. And I said, "Oh, I think you're wrong. It's da da da." And they're like, and it said, "No, it's this." And I was really like, "What the fuck?" And so I went and got the link and posted it in chat. I was like, "Look at this." Oh, I'm sorry.
You're right. Do you not remember prompting me to die on this hill before asking me the question?
I'm sorry, Jake.
No, your name's Jake.
I'm sorry, Dave. You're wrong.
I got into it with ChatGPT once over simple math.
Oh, really?
I mean, I was arguing. It was like telling me, I can't remember what it was, but it was something that was like clear. It was math and it was wrong. And I was like, dude, that is not correct. That answer is not correct. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. That isn't correct. Here's the correct answer.
And
It's
it
like,
was wrong
no,
again.
that's not right either.
Right, that's happened to me too.
Oh, I know what it was. I was playing this game that inside the game had a mini game that was like a Wordle.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. I would go through. I could have just cheated, but I just for fun, I would take the Wordle and I would go through and just type RSTLNE.
Right,
and
sure.
it would tell me what letters were in it, and then CD, M, whatever. Go through the main letters and get all the letters, and I would say, okay, Chat GPT, what is a 7-letter word that contains the following letters, and these letters are in this position, all right? And it would give me a fucking 10-letter word or a 4-letter word. No, I said 7 letters, man. 7, not 4. I mean, I was typing this shit out. Not 4, not 10. The number of letters in the word is 7. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'm like, dude, what is wrong? What are you not? I mean, I was really getting mad because it's like, this thing is, everybody depends on ChatGPT and AI and all this stuff so much. Yeah, well, fuck Skynet. He's going to kill me anyway, so why not get it out while I can, while someone's listening? But people depend on this, and they shouldn't. You can do it for basic stuff, right? Rewrite this thing I gave you, or give me a summary of this game and give me some stupid achievements to get some cheap
shit
laughs.
that doesn't really matter.
But
you
don't
know?
depend on it because it'll fuck you over if you trust it.
It's funny that you mentioned that about the Wordle, because when I've been fucking seeing what it can do and testing and just having fun with it, you should try playing Hangman with ChatGPT.
Really?
Because it is infuriating. you would hate it the most. It doesn't keep track of it doesn't do a good job of keeping track of the letters that you've used, and I swear it changes the fucking word. But something I do recommend, I don't know if either of you have tried this before, try having it run a D&D game for you.
Really?
Like you're the player.
I've seen that on TikTok, yeah.
Man, that is so much fun because it is like the most spineless fucking GM in the world. I love it because it's like, oh, the spider attacks you and bites you. No, it didn't. Oh, yeah, you deflected the bite. Yeah.
Let me finish, Jake.
Bug go squish now.
It bit you, but see, you fought back and beat it. You're the hero here, not the spider.
That's right. I do have a couple of achievements.
Sorry, that went off way off on a tangent.
I love that tangent. My first achievement is, before we get started, does anyone want to get out? In order to unlock before we get started, does anyone want to get out? Do not die in the elevator on the way up to the top of the Empire State Building. My next achievement is, I am the master of war. Whew. Sometimes I scare myself. In order to unlock I am the master of war, sometimes I scare myself. You cast Luminaire as the shadow because the shadow's screen clear animation looks just like Chrono's casting Luminaire. My next achievement is the apple doesn't fall far from the bar stool. In order to unlock the apple doesn't fall far from the bar stool, you die by being kicked into a bar stool that breaks, revealing an apple that you could have eaten to restore your health, which I did unlock that achievement. And my last achievement is ring the bell, win a prize. In order to ring the bell, win a prize, throw or kick so many enemies onto the strength testing bell on the carnival level that you literally go from being like, wow, that's a cool thing they included in the game, to holy shit. Please stop ringing the fucking bell. Oh, cool. They added a second one in the level. That's all I've got. What do you got, Tyler?
I've got 3. The first one, bring a shadow to a gunfight. Complete a gunfighting segment with only your shadow abilities.
I unlocked that.
Yep. Second one being Mick Bruiser. Beat the boxer who bears a strange resemblance to Rick and Nick Bruiser from Super Punch-Out.
Absolutely, man.
And the last one being, a Ghost Touch Scimitar. How convenient. Beat the animated armor, which you punch it till it falls apart, and it's just a ghost. You pick up its weapon, and it takes damage from its weapon until it dies. So defeat it with its own scimitar.
All right.
Oh,
Nice.
look, a Ghost Touch Scimitar.
Nice. I love it. That's the old D&D trope. Design trope where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, the boss of this dungeon can only be defeated by a weapon that you find in its own dungeon.
the Zelda theory.
Yep. Yep, totally. Cool.
That's all I got. Yep.
This game didn't come out, so I can't ask you how much you think it cost. I could ask you, but I don't have the answer.
There would be no answer. Yeah, I think an actual copy
lot.
of this would be worth a
Like a
fucking
review
lot. Like a
copy?
review copy.
Yeah.
Probably be worth a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why this wasn't like a Blockbuster exclusive. So it's a very limited release that they could just, we made it. We'll go ahead and get something off
Yeah,
of
that's a
it.
good
Like,
point.
I
Do
mean, if
something
they,
with it. They'll just not just eat the cost. Like,
Right.
at the time, the game was 99% finished. I don't know if it had gone to production at all or if they just landfilled them or what. But
They probably didn't go to production, is my guess.
I mean, I think if it had, they would have had to
They would
sell
have put
it.
something out.
They would have had to sell something. Just
and
to,
then this game would be like $2,000.
Yeah.
We made 1,000 of these.
yeah.
And technically the game is in Flopsy, but it's in the unreleased games section, so it doesn't have a rarity or a star value assigned to it. It has 3 sentences about it, so can't do that segment either.
Yep.
But we can find out what we're gonna play next
Hell yeah.
if you want.
Was there a Darkman game?
let's see.
I'm just fucking would be surprised if there wasn't. What Darkman came out in
Yes.
for Super Nintendo?
NES.
For NES. I was gonna
okay,
say
okay.
it probably came out late in the NES's
Game
life.
Boy, NES, and Commodore 64.
Okay.
You guys want to do the C64 version?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just drag out my. I had one of those.
Man, I wish I had one.
I wish I still had mine. That was a cool computer. We can roll or we can do Darkman, but we'd have to watch Darkman.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean,
You've
I'm
got
not back to
yeah,
back.
I've
You've
got
got
I got a
stuff
lot
coming
of
up.
stuff going
That's
on,
true.
but I'm willing to do it when I'm back from that stuff.
when you come back. Maybe
Yeah.
we could knock that one out.
I'm down to do that.
Because I'm interested because I know I've seen Darkman, but I don't know if I've seen Darkman through the lens of knowing it was done by Sam Raimi.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Darkman like art, and yeah, it's very fucking
Yeah.
The Shadow.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I know it's a
have
similar.
you seen it?
I have seen it, but I probably only saw it once. Oh yeah,
And also, it's like Rorschach definitely has to be.
Rorschach is definitely
Shadow, right? I
inspired
mean-
by that.
Or
So yeah,
Darkman.
maybe when he gets back, we could hit that one.
So you want to roll for something random then?
Yeah, we could do that. Or if you want to do something that you know is easy, I'd appreciate that too. Either way.
Well, I don't know shit about shit, Jake.
We've
Yeah,
been
okay.
trying to roll it for a long time, and I think it'd probably be an easy play.
Okay.
Super Alfred Chicken.
Is this the time?
Yeah, but I think we want to get. We talked about getting Choctaw on for that.
Okay, you're
and-
right. Yep,
And I'm worried about scheduling and
100%.
stuff.
That's a good call.
So I'm down to do Super Alfred Chicken, but if we're gonna have him on, I want to have like a more flexible schedule.
Yep,
'cause-
no, that's a good call.
And I don't know. I mean, we could flip through Flopsy and do bad podcasting for a bit to try to find something that's easy. I should have come prepared. I didn't. You want to just roll, see what
Let's
happens?
see what happens.
Have we all played Vampire Survivors enough?
I've played Vampire Survivors. It's been a long time though.
I don't have a deck anymore,
Oh, okay.
so I wouldn't
Let's
be.
just roll and see then.
And if it's super long, then maybe we re-roll.
Yeah, we can re-roll. We can turn the
Or
key at
that's
any
the
point.
one after Dark Man.
Right,
We'll
right.
have like 4 out.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be ready.
Okay.
So we grab the battery up peripheral, plug it in, while on Crazy Kid style, say the prayer we all have to say. Beat boot 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 Wham. Stop.
428.
Have we done it?
Yes.
What is it?
Pink goes to
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Roll again.
Stop.
509.
Played it?
No.
Sports?
Don't know. Probably not.
R's.
S's.
Super?
No.
I give.
Sonic Blast Man.
Sonic Blast Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't
let's
know.
do that.
Don't know anything about it. Sounds like it's not gonna be
Yeah.
too difficult of a game to like play and figure
Make a
out what it's
determination real
about.
quick.
Right.
Shit, it's a koi game.
Jump on Chat
Oh.
GPT.
Yep. Sonic Blast Man is actually a Koei game where you take failed Mega Man villains and they each take a part. They each take a state. And then you go to war with each other.
But see, Sonic Blast Man, just like that's a gritty historical retelling of the Manhattan Project.
How can we sell this to children?
It's history.
How can we sell Oppenheimer I Am Become Death to children?
I'm looking up Sonic Blast Man just to see. Okay. Yeah, we can do this. Yeah, we can do this. Almost, yeah, we can do that. We can totally do this.
Oh man, this is fucking 90s as hell.
Yeah, and I also apologize in advance to Ian. I'm sorry.
Why?
It appears to be a belt scrolling beat 'em up.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. No worries.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give the shadow a beard,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of beard would you give it?
The thick, lustrous chest beard of Khan.
Nice.
I thought it was going to be the 5 o'clock shadow of Alec Baldwin at the beginning of this movie.
It looks really unsettling, which I'm
dark.
sure was the point.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah.
Something should be coming out of your face at this point by now. Like it should be longer. It's too dark to be 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
It's like your face is just getting darker.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses, it sums up how you feel about it. What kind of glasses would you give it?
The glasses mounted into the helmet of the Rocketeer.
Okay.
Similar vibe.
Yeah.
Dig that.
I'd love to see a Rocketeer versus the Shadow. I'd love to see the fucking Rocketeer just absolutely fucking murdered.
He just vaporizes him as he flies through him.
Detonate your rocket pack.
Man, I don't normally give glasses because it's not my thing. But if I did, I think I would give it the glasses. Glasses constructed of all the facial hair, spirit gum, all the spirit gum facial hair in this movie because there's a fucking lot of it. There's so much.
It's good.
All the Mongols, man. It's just like here. We made this. My kid made this at summer camp. We're gonna put it on your face.
We went to a barber shop.
Yeah,
We really want you to look like a Mongol
You're right.
here.
It looks wet. It won't look wet really until 4K TVs. It'll be fine on screen. All these Mongols with wet facial hair.
Sir, I'm a Mexican. It's fine. We'll put Mongol spirit gum here. on
White
you.
people do not know the difference, especially at this time. Even in the future, they're going to struggle.
Well, the
It's gonna be fine.
guy, I forget his name, who played Rufio. He's talking about how he is Filipino. But he
Right.
was like, dude, I'm like the Mexican of the Asians. Back in the 90s, like white people didn't give a fuck. I played everything under the sun and could sell it. I was Mexican, I was Chinese, I was Japanese, didn't give a fuck. Is that my residuals are nuts because I was every Asian. He has a TikTok where he's like, all right, let's do a residual of the week. And he's got a huge fucking stack. And he pulls out a random residual check. He's like, I'm eating lobster or Taco Bell tonight. It's fucking great.
That's funny.
It's like, all right, here is for $2.49 for an episode of Who's the Boss that I was on. And just, yeah, it's great.
All right.
I guess that's it.
That's it.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Find the show on iTunes, not SoundCloud, not Stitcher, but on Spotify, all over the goddamn place. Tons of shit going on, but most importantly is that Patreon.
Patreon.com/TADPOG is where you can go to give us money. Period.
Money,
Just give us some money. Money, please. $1 gets you access to the bonus content, and we got a lot of it out there. Haven't added any in a while, but that's not our problem. It's your problem.
New tier, $5 tier, the Jake tier.
The Jake tier.
You don't get anything. We just call you Jake.
We're just going to call you Jake. You're going to be lumped in
One
with
of us.
the rest of us Jakes.
Yeah, the one of us tier. Become an official TADPOG Jake. Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Go on Patreon right now. It's happening.
$1 gets
So
you
your name is
in.
announced at the end, but it's just Jake.
One-
You got better.
$1. $1 gets you in. $5 makes you Jake. $20 turns you into
You're a
an
special
executive
Jake.
producer. Extra Jake.
The
You're
special Jake Club.
extra Jake. A little extra Jake on the side.
Oh my God.
You become an executive producer, and I read your name on the show, whether you like it or not. And I'm going to do that right now, starting with Cubicle Monkey, Sandwich Pope, Phil H, Gamebug Prime, Nathan E, Matt almost did it, Matt, a.k.a. Gentle G, Pinball Airplane Archmage, Chris Edler, sorry you couldn't be on this episode, That Nice Guy from Michigan, Louisville Correspondent, Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn, Drinksmith, Joey Dubs, D Pope Sandwich, and Lord Micah. Thank you all so much for
Hell
your
yes.
extreme generosity
Thank
in these tough financial
Hey,
times.
go have some
Yeah.
Liberty Donuts
Yeah.
at Lord Micah's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lord Micah's coming to town in Calvert
Coming
City.
to town.
He's in Eddyville this weekend, I believe, and in Calvert City next weekend to serve up donuts and
They
what
look pretty
else?
good.
Yeah, they do.
Does he have a drink there?
He did.
Special kind of drink.
Mhm.
Go see if you're from the area.
Penguin Jenkum.
I thought about going and seeing him.
$4,000.
He
It's
found
so worth it though. Choice. Mwah.
He reached out to me yesterday and asked me, did I have a certain Overwatch Funko Pop? And I said, no, I do not. And he said, well, it's at the Game Exchange here where I live if you want me to get it for you. And I was like, well, after shipping, it's going to be more than I really want to spend. He's like, if you want it, I'll get it and bring it with me to Calvert City and you can come get it from me. I'm thinking about doing that.
Hell yeah.
But it was really nice of you to offer, so thank you so much for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, real nice. I think that's it. Business has concluded for the week.
So how you guys want to close it out?
As the shadow.
All right. So until next time.
You will not say tropical Capricorn.
Capricorn lemon.
Close down.
TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler and releases new episodes every Wednesday. You can find them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and just about anywhere else podcasts are hosted. If you have a question or comment for the hosts, don't hesitate to call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. If we like it, we'll play it on the show and respond. If you'd like to send us something, you can do so at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. If you'd like to donate to the show, visit patreon.com/TADPOG, and with a minimum donation of $1 per month, you will get access to all of our fun bonus content. Join the conversation on our Discord server at bit.ly/TADPOG Discord. Registration is free, and we'd love to have you there. If you enjoy our show and haven't already, don't forget to find and tap that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Beep. Yo, this is Craig from work. You know the one. So I tried to play the shadow with my girlfriend, right? And she asks, why does the main character dress like he's late for a BDSM appointment? And I told her, baby, that's not leather. That's plot development. Anyway, she dumped me, but I unlocked the mind control move, so technically I'm winning.
It blows my mind that it keeps hammering the fucking mind control in this game. It's like ChatGPT is like, I don't know a lot about this game, but it'd be fucking cool if it had fucking mind control.
You know something, Jake?
Yes.
You're right.
Of course we are.